2, 1. Alright guys, LocsNLoad reviews here today. I'm here with Undead Prophet, and we're here to film our final video on the Prism optics. So we're going to be letting you guys know, based on our opinions and based on the tests we run, how do these optics fare on different drills, and we have an actual ACOG that we can compare it to, because again, like we said, the ACOG at home. And so we have a real deal ACOG and we're going to test against. And so these drills are really going to let you guys know, answer all these questions. You know, does it lose zero under fire? How quickly can we transition from the red dot on top to the 5X Prism on below? And how does it fare when we're shooting at the distance or shooting up close? So we're going to try to answer those questions in this video, and hopefully you guys like it. You got anything you want to say?
Well, as far as if you're looking for like technical things, as far as what we found with the optics, as far as setting them up, and as far as the dots and the selections and stuff, that's what my video is going to be about. I did a lot more as far as technical testing with these optics, and yeah, I think you guys will like that type of information if you're interested in that. So if you're, again, interested, follow me, Undead Prophet 0.
All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to head to our first drill, and we're going to run that and see you guys down range. All right, guys, we're here on the range, and so we're going to do our first drill. So what we're going to do is 5 rounds on a target up close, utilizing our piggyback red dots at 12 o'clock. And then we're going to transition to the target 330 yards away, and we'll try to get 3 hits on that target. So I'm going to go first, then Eric's going to go, then we'll give our little breakdown of how we feel about transitioning between the two optics.
Yeah.
All right?
All right, let's do it.
There we go. Now, it took a little second for me to find. Tried to calm myself down. That's how I was able to ding ding. So now it's Eric's turn to go. Two, 3. All right, so we just conducted the drill. That was a good one. All right, so Eric, how do you feel about your ability to transition from the red dot to the 5X?
So I do like the ability to actually, as far as just tuck my head up and see the red dot for up close stuff, and then if I have to actually engage at distance, I just have to tuck my head down because I do have a longer neck. So higher rise mounts like 193s and those 226 mounts are ideal for someone like me. So that's why I do like this optic combo.
All right, and so for me, I got about a normal neck. It's still not very high up. I get that question, what's my height of a bore? It's not that bad. If you have like a normal 193 or 226, it's right about that same general area. But as far as transitioning, you know, being able to hit that red dot real close at a target, and oh snap, there's a guy at 300 yards away, being able to get down behind that rifle, behind that glass, with rounds on him. It wasn't that bad. Now, we didn't have the most stable surface to shoot off.
Yeah.
But as you see, we were still able to get our 3 hits at 330 yards. We had Keith come by. He has the real legit ACOG, you know, just as like a variable, I guess. Is that what you say? We run in the test.
I guess the baseline,
right?
Because we're calling it the ACOG at home.
Exactly. So we want to compare it against a real ACOG,
the actual ACOG,
right? And so he was able to run the drill. We was able to get our hits at 300. Keith is behind the camera. How do you feel about running that drill?
So, one thing I will say, it would definitely be nice to have some kind of red dot setup. That is something that I will eventually do on my 13.7 because I'll have a piggybacked RMR on there. Just for now, I've had other priorities going on with other builds, got an MP5 in the work, stuff like that, so I haven't done it yet. But it's definitely a huge plus in the realm of engaging from close and then be able to transition and shoot at a further distance.
Right, because again, with these, the field of view you're getting is about 15 to 18 feet, right. But the ACOG, what you get, what, like 30 feet of field of view?
50 feet.
Or 50 feet. So you can see a lot more at distance, and, you know, and so that's one thing the ACOG gives you that the Prism doesn't, is that wider field of view at distance, so you can see more of the picture. And then the ACOG is a little bit more clear, but still for the application, this is good enough.
The one thing I will say that you're giving up with an ACOG for that field of view is your eye relief. So the field of view on an ACOG is extremely short. Anybody that's ever shot one will know that if you don't get behind this, you're not careful about it, it will actually smack you bumpy in the eye. These have a lot better eye relief. Just kind of a trade-off right there with that. So you see he's able to get way back. He's looking at about 2 inches of eye relief. And for me, I got to choke right there to my eyebrow is almost touching the lens in order to get a good
and even
sight
same
picture
for me.
behind it.
Even with this micro.
Yeah, I'm about like
more eye
right there.
Yeah, you get a little eye relief, but you still have to get up close and personal to it,
Yeah.
to really get a nice box where you're not seeing the black shadows off to the side.
Yeah, and it can be done. The close-up stuff with an ACOG, you use the bending aiming concept. It takes a little bit of practice to get used to, but it takes a lot more practice and training to be effective with this as you would be with a piggyback red dot setup like that.
All right, and so another question people are going to ask, what is the benefits, or is there any benefit to having it 12 o'clock versus off to the side at a 45 degree?
So there's trade-offs to each. I think the biggest trade-off would be
I say night vision.
if
be able to
it's
shoot under
well,
lights.
if it's 45, the biggest trade-off is you won't be able to run it left-handed.
That too. You can't
Versus
go off
with a
hand.
12 o'clock. With a
Yeah.
12 o'clock, you
You would
also
end up
think
doing
of,
something weird and funky like that.
Yeah. So,
yeah. With 12 o'clock, you also end up running the issue of barriers and stuff. So if you're shooting off of a barrier and you have like a thin window to shoot through, that extra height could add to problems there. So there's trade-offs, there's gives and takes to each. Personally, I would say that the 12 o'clock is a better option, just because of the ability to be ambidextrous with the sighting system.
Dude, I think it is easier to shoot under night vision with the 12 o'clock, and then you don't have to really change your head position or get lower. It's just same
Yeah,
head
night
up,
vision as well.
right?
It's a
Head
lot
upright, and you just bring it up to your eye.
Yeah.
You can do
and one of the reasons why I like this setup as far as the dot forward versus the dot in the rear like some of the ACOGs is because for night vision, I'm not bumping into my nods.
All right, so that wraps up the first drill. And so for the second drill, we're gonna do some up drills, up close and personal, using the red dot to show how that utilizes as if you're doing CQB. Everyone talks about CQB.
Yeah, so let's do some CQB.
All right, so we're gonna be in CQB distances, shooting up close and personal, using the red dot, and then lastly, we'll transition back out the distance.
Yeah.
All right,
That'd
so.
be fun.
was us utilizing the red dot on top. To be honest, if you ask me, it feels like you're using a normal red dot.
Yeah, like I said, it's like if you put a normal red dot on a 226 mount, that's what it's reminiscent to.
Exactly. And so it doesn't feel like I have to cram my neck up or do anything. It's literally, I'm looking straight at the target normally, and then it just comes up right there perfectly. So it's like, sometimes I don't really see, like I said, the Prism, it just right there in my eye box perfectly. And so we have normal necks, he's got a longer neck.
Yeah.
And even Keith, when he runs it, he has no problem with it. And so again, that height of a bore is not an issue, especially if we use the mounts we have. I get this question a lot. He doesn't have a website. He doesn't have like anything like that. I put his picture up here. The only way to contact him is through Instagram. All right, Red Arrow Concepts. He's the one who makes the mounts for us, because if you utilize that Picatinny mount that it comes with on the macro, especially, your height of bore will be a little higher. And so he gave us these custom mounts that he made at home that will accept the footprint of a Holosun 509T, which is what I have. And then he has a Trigicon.
Yeah, so pretty much for the micro, what I did for mine, most of this is just stuff straight out of the box. It is the actual optic with the cantilever mount, and then I purchased the dive board, and this is just a Trigicon RMR 325 dot on top of a Glock MOS plate. So.
Right. And so again, we have the I like the macro. I don't know, it just gives me good feelings. And so for that drill, again, to answer the question, there is no issue transitioning to this red dot or utilizing this red dot if you're in CQB distances, or if you had to do home defense, vehicle defense, something up close. And so now what we're going to show is shooting down to 300 yards again, so that you can use this thing out the distance. So here we go. All right, so the first one I'm looking at by the swingers, that's 2 something, right?
Yeah. The 3, 4, and 5, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all that's in frame though.
Thomas.
All right, so red box is 3, right?
Yep.
Then triangle is 4.
Yep.
And the circle is 5.
Yep. And then between the triangle and the circle, you'll see one without a shape on it. That's 608.
Okay. All right. I'm ready.
Spotter ready. Impact. High right. Top corner of the square.
All right. Let me try that again.
Impact.
All right, going to 4.
All right. On it. Hit it. Can't tell where. I think you are just the right leg of the triangle. Same spot.
All right, that's 4.
A little bit lower. All right, 530. Got it. Can't tell where, but you hit it. Yep.
Yep.
Let's go 608.
Oh, 600? Okay, yeah, let's go to 6. All right, 608 down.
Got it. You hit it. You just barely nicked it, though. Give me a solid one. Yep.
Yeah, I heard that one. I heard that one.
Good shit, man.
I love it. I love it.
All right, Eric.
Square target distance.
303.
303.
Low left. Impact. 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 All right, go 4. It's 405. Low left. Low. Impact. Impact. 530.
Okay.
Circle. Did not find your vapor trail. Give me one more. I'm losing you in the wood line, but I would venture to say that you're probably low left. So take that hold and put it on the top right shoulder. Got it.
Yep.
Nope. I'm not spotting your vapor trail. I think that one was a hit, but I'm not 100% positive.
Well, I can't even see my vapor trail.
I can't see it through this either. You're going into the shadows right there, so it makes it hard, but I got it zoomed in now. Give me that high left or high right shoulder hold. And you can see it appearing right here on the left side, and then it disappears in the shadow. Give me a little bit less height. You're a little too high, I think. Nope. There you go.
Hit.
Yeah, that was a hit. I saw
Go
that
to
one.
6.
Again, high right. Hold high right.
Well, that sucks. This is why we have the short magazine.
Good editing.
Oops, there's I jumping around, but whatever.
It's all right, leave it.
Yep.
High right. No, I'm not spotting your vapor trail. Got it.
Yeah, I read that.
Yep.
Nope. Okay.
Yeah.
Almost there. Impact. Impact. Impact.
All right, go to 4.
Impact. Impact.
I don't know if I'm hitting it or not. I can't see my 4/5 with this thing. Alright, go to 5, 30. That was a hit.
Yeah, I'm losing it in the shadow, but I can. I'm losing it in the shadow. I see what you're talking about.
Yeah. Alright, 6.
I think you hit dead center.
I'm gonna walk it back just because.
Yeah, that was an impact top right shoulder. Headshot. Headshot. Right shoulder.
All right, guys. So that was the last drill of the day that we're going to conduct with the 5X Prisms and the ACOG. And so I said 300, but we stepped out to 600 yards.
608.
608. So you was able. We can do that with these 13.9s, 13.7. You can go out the distance, and you saw how I did it. I did it pretty quick. So the optic, the glass clarity, it's there. The one thing I would recommend is that you go with the reticle he has and Marie has, which is the Aurora reticle. Because I have the ACSS reticle with the horseshoe. Now when you start to aim at like smaller targets out the distance, that horseshoe can start to eat up some of that picture and get in the way. I kind of learned that from the FDCC matches, trying to shoot at like 2-inch targets.
Yeah.
The horseshoe did take up a lot of the picture. It was kind of a little bit harder to use. So I would definitely go with the Roar reticle. It just has a chevron and clear lines like almost like an ACOG.
Same, it's pretty the same
Right.
chevron.
Yeah.
And so it cleans up your picture as well.
So, and kind of talking about the micro, now, obviously in my run, I did eventually get out to 600. I'm going to attribute it to ammo because of the fact that I know glass clarity wise, it's 1-to-1 with the macro. It's just a smaller form factor. The only concerns that I did have in my testing process was the dive port mount as far as it failing on me. Now, it hasn't failed on me personally, but I have seen it fail on other people.
Yeah. That's the only thing is, you know, we seen was it Brass Facts or whatever the
Yeah,
video.
I saw Brass Facts' video, and I got 2 other people that are running this exact setup, just different dots on top. But the point is, we all have that same concern as far as this is just a thin piece of steel, and if I drop it probably at a certain amount of time, not time, at a certain height, angle,
Yeah.
it might dent it. So
Yeah, that'd be a good redesign for the Gen 2 version of that for primary arms.
Yeah, have mount like built in.
Integrate it into it. And if people don't want to use it, just don't mount the dot. So I think Vortex has one, but they've got like a very specific optic you can't use.
Actually, that would probably be...
The MOS plate's a good idea though.
Yeah, so, and it's actually one of the things in my video when I actually put it out there, it's one thing I kind of sketched out as far as a potential solution that maybe primary arms could do.
So that was our thoughts on the drill. Glass clarity, how do you feel? Was it, I know you got the clear optic with ACOG, like ACOG is like king.
Yeah, there's nothing compares to it.
Right, so but as far as compared to it, I'd say it's about a good 80% glass clarity of the ACOG. So you can definitely still see out there, identify like in the video, you can see me calling targets, the one with the X, the one with the square, the one with the circle. So I can see out there and identify clearly white painted steel targets, of course. No one in camouflage like this. But you still have decent glass clarity out the distance, whether it be the macro or the micro. So that's a good plus. I just recommend macro.
Yeah, one thing I want to add as far as like being able to connect to this kind of distance, it's not, the ACSS reticle kind of gives it a plug and play effect to it, but it's going to be barrel length dependent. So the 13.9s, I know with Thomas's, once we got it into the ballistic app, we had to do a little bit of playing with his zero. Same thing with mine. This is made for 14.5. I ended up zeroing at 50 and then dialing down 3.5 MOA, and it lines up with my BDC. I did the same thing for his optic, and then Eric, I'm not quite sure if we did that for yours or not, but...
Well, we're about to double check that 100% because, like I said, I think maybe it's ammo, maybe it could be the optic because it did come off zero.
Yeah, that's the other thing is the ammo. I'm using a different ammo today from what it's zeroed to, so as Eric. It was close, but the velocity on this was a little bit slower, so I had to adjust. Thomas, he used the ammo that was zeroed for it, and what we plugged a zero in for, and you saw he got
Winchester white box
all the way out of distance, which is Winchester white box is just Lake City Overrun. That's the M193. Winchester has the contract for that right now, so it's federal M193 basically. Same ammo.
And
So it's good stuff, people. It's good stuff.
I would say use it in the optic itself. It has the lines, so it'd be like, you know, the top of the pin is 3. You got your 4 line, 5, 6. I honestly just took each line and put it on the target, and I held a little bit high. So like at 6 to 8, I put the 6 pin right at the throat of the target, and I was hitting. And I basically did the same for about 5. Just put the pin right about the throat, the 5 pin at the throat, and I was still able to hit center mass.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he was hitting center. He's doing pretty good. He had a couple that faded right, but we had some wind going on, so wind will affect that a little bit.
All right. So as far as how the optic is etched, because this reticle is designed for 16-inch AR. 13.9s, you don't lose that much velocity, so it's pretty much on track. You just have to favor just a little bit higher and whatnot. So, any last thoughts on using these optics out the distance?
No, as far as, like you said, distance-wise, you can PID as far as larger optics down range out to 600. Now, when we start to look at smaller objects like backpacks, hatchets, like when we play Tactical Where's Waldo, that's where the drop-off happens with these style of optics and where a medium power variable optic shines a lot better in that type of environment.
Right.
But other than that, as far as being able to, again, PID, brightly painted target, downrange, yeah, you can do it.
Or even like a soldier at 150, 200, because again, these are fighting optics, not designed for you to make a sniper shot at 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Right. It's for that soldier who has to get into that building, clear the building. You got the red dot on top, and then, hey, I'm taking fire across this on this hillside 150 yards away. Now you can transition to your 5X and you put rounds downrange.
You got a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Instead of running a red dot with a magnifier, now we have a red dot with an actual magnified optic that's set at a specific magnification.
Yeah, and some people might prefer to run an LPVO or something like this. Like, oh, I got the 1 power, the 6 power, and the dot. Just run a piggyback dot. Majority of the time, guys are gonna run piggyback dots. If you want to do that, you want to add the weight to it, you can. This optic is substantially lighter. I mean, the ACOG, of course, and then obviously the micro prism. But even this larger one is substantially lighter than what LPVO with that piggyback dot's gonna be.
Right. So that wraps it up for this drill. And so what we're going to do, we're going to come back and talk about our final thoughts on the optic and how does it fare, I guess, if you were looking to buy it. So yeah, we'll see you guys back at the tables.
The thing is, like, did mine hold 0? Which, no.
Falling.
Soiled it.
Soiled it.
All right.
We're good.
All right, guys, here we are at the end of the video. This is the outro. Our now final thoughts on the optics and how do we think the optic performed. And what do you think if it's right for you if you want to purchase it? So, first question, how do we think the optic compared to a real deal ACOG? Seeing how we use one, I've used one, and we got these ACOGs at home. How do you think it compares?
Glass clarity wise, it definitely leaves, it's a nice tasting. So think of it like that. Like, you go to an ice cream shop, they give you the little spoon to try the ice cream, and if you like it that much, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pay that price. That's what this kind of feels like to me. So what about you?
It's like ACOG is like that name brand bread, right? You get a Publix, and then you have the Publix brand that they make themselves. That's like the ACOG Prism. Tastes just as good, does just the same thing. It's just at a cheaper price with a different logo. And so, honestly, I feel like if you were looking to purchase this optic, like, it would be pretty good. Like, I don't really see where you can go wrong. It does everything I think a normal rifleman can need. If your goal is to shoot out 300 or 500 yards, this optic, clearly, as you saw, it can do that. If you need to do something up close for home defense or life or liberty type stuff, you can do that with this optic and that piggyback red dot. And you don't have to spend ACOG price, because ACOG, well over $1,000.
Yeah.
Right? So the 5X Prism itself is like 400, and the Hollow Sun itself is like another 400. So right there, under $1,000, you got yourself a 5X Prism and a red dot. Yeah. And you still save money more than over the ACOG.
Yeah, and the same thing goes for the micro. The micro is $399, and then the dive board mount is another $24, and then whatever dot you want to put on top, because it's a Glock MOS mounting system. If you already have a dot at home that you want to put on there, boom, you can do it that way. So,
all right. So, Eric, if you had to use this optic to defend your life, let's say the Chinese parachute started landing and it was Red Dawn Duval edition.
Red Dawn Duval edition. Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable running out of the house and defending your life and your family and your loved ones with this setup, this 5X Prism, whether it be macro, micro, and a red dot?
If I have to pick between the two, I would pick the macro and the Aurora reticle, like Thomas has said, for a lot of reasons, but the main one is because of how the system works in conjunction with each other. So with the red dot, the mounting, and the actual prism itself, and then directly mounted to a Picatinny, it's a very rock solid system. I do like the micro for the form factor and for the weight saving, but at this point, because of the dive board and because of the RMR screws and because of the Glock MOS screws, there's a lot of stacking of tolerances that I've been nervous about during my testing process, which I have discovered some of these things have failed. So,
right.
And Thomas's never came off 0. And
yeah, exactly. So,
and he does not baby his guns. So.
Not at all. And doing that little drill at the 600, seeing how quick I was able to hit, even ball ammo that I just bought last night. So
off the shelf,
right? Off the shelf, and I was able to do that with ball ammo. That makes me feel good, makes me feel happy. again, it's not a sniper rifle. This is a GPR, general purpose rifle, to help. It's a jack of all trades rifle. So whatever may happen in your realm as a civilian, this is what this covers. I know you had talked about coming off zero. Did you still have that problem, or did that problem solve itself?
So after the last time when we did that shoot, after I zeroed it, I did go back and reshoot as far as at distance, and so far my zero seemed to hold. It may have been an ammo issue, but again, I'm still testing as far as that process, how many times, if it does come off zero, when and why. So
all right, so I guess final thoughts to wrap it up. If you were to ask, I think me and Eric would agree, these are good optics. They're well worth the money. You're not gonna buy it and then regret it later.
yeah,
I think we agree that
I'm definitely happy with my purchase. Is it gonna stay on this gun? No, because of what.
That's something different. What we're doing is something specific.
We do something different
because we have like a training group, and so we can individualize our skill sets for certain roles. This, again, general purpose for you, the civilian who don't have a team. It's just you. This is something good. Like, again, we agree on the 5X macro with the Aurora reticle. So I'm gonna just put that at the top. This is the winner optic, right? And then you can put really whatever red dot you want. He has Trigicon, I have Holosun. Just make sure it's a good red dot and you have it mounted right, so it doesn't come off and lose zero. But besides that, I think this is a good test. I learned a lot. Eric learned a lot. Hopefully you guys learned a lot. Yeah. And so when we do our next video, our next little test, Keith didn't learn shit.
He's like, I already knew.
Right. When we do our next optics test, you guys stick around and check that out for people who want to go down that road. All right. So again, thank you guys for watching part 1 and part 2 of the 5X Prism video. Hopefully we're able to answer your questions on whether you want to purchase this optic or look into it. We recommend it, and you guys stay tuned and stand by for the next video. Yep. So, all right, guys. So remember to stay educated and stay dangerous. LocsNLoad out.